Before our oldest, Jackson, was even born, Belinda and I made a decision. We wanted to spend as much time with our kids as possible while they were growing up. One way we chose to do that was by keeping maternity leave short so we could save that time for family sabbaticals later on. So far, we've done that twice. The first was a full year when the kids were just 4 and 6 years old. During that time, we explored our home countries, Canada and New Zealand, taking the opportunity to slow down and experience them as a family. The second sabbatical came years later, when the kids were 12 and 14. That time, we spent 3 months traveling through southern South America together. These sabbatical flashbacks are some of the lessons and stories that came out of those adventures. I've always been someone who liked to get things done. Maximize the day. Be efficient. Be productive. Move from one task to the next with purpose. If there's a quicker route, I'll find it. If 2 things can be done at once, even better. I tend to eat for fuel, not necessarily for enjoyment. Sitting down for a meal usually feels like a missed opportunity unless I can also answer a few emails, read the news, or get something else done at the same time. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone has always seemed like a pretty good life strategy. Travel is no different. When I visit a new place, I want to see as much of it as possible. That means starting early, walking all day, and squeezing every site, landmark, and hidden corner into the schedule. If there's a viewpoint, we should get there. If there's a trail, we should hike it. If there's a cafe worth visiting, we should at least stop long enough to say we've been there. Efficiency. Maximizing the experience. Or so I thought. Because Jamie, our 4-year-old, approaches life a little differently. She doesn't maximize efficiency. She maximizes enjoyment. At dinner time, for example, eating is apparently only a small part of the activity. There is standing up, sitting down, standing up again, poking her brother, swinging her fork around like a tiny conductor, leading an orchestra, making faces, saying silly things that somehow make perfect sense to a 4-year-old mind. The meal stretches on and on. In my previous view of the world, this was a masterclass in squandering time. Then there are the walks. A simple walk to the beach becomes something entirely different when Jamie is involved. Her pockets slowly fill with rocks and shells until they reach a critical mass. By the time we're halfway down the beach, she's waddling along like a penguin, which, incidentally, she will happily demonstrate with great enthusiasm. Each shell must be examined, each rock must be evaluated, because somewhere out there is the perfect one to add to her growing collection of approximately 500 rocks and shells that already live in the trunk or boot of the car. And somehow, despite the weight of her treasure-filled pockets and the penguin-like stride, she absolutely loves it when I join her search. When I crouch down beside her and help decide whether a particular shell is worthy of the collection. She loves it when I include her in cooking too. What might normally be a 20-minute task quietly becomes an hour-long production. Stirring, measuring, spilling, laughing. And you know what? That's okay. The excitement on her face when I dig a giant hole in the sand at the beach is worth every extra minute. The laughter that happens when I make silly faces across the dinner table and she fires back with an even sillier one is something no schedule can improve. Because something interesting happens when you slow down. When you stop trying to maximize efficiency and instead travel at the speed of a 4-year-old, you notice more shells. You laugh more at dinner. You dig deeper holes in the sand. And somewhere along the way, you realize that maybe time wasn't being squandered at all. Maybe it was being spent exactly the way it was meant to be.